What's family? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, Mr. Whaatwaa, and today, man, we're about to get into it, man. We got a video called "Is Sex of Slaves Allowed in Islam?" Dr.Zakir Naik answers. Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, from the title, I can see certain things, so we're gonna watch this and see what this is really about. I hope it's, not too R-rated. Now, remember, if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and join the Whaatwaa family. And also, before we get started, put a like on this video. And remember, if you got a video you want me to react to, get down in the comment section, let me know, and we'll get to it, man. Let's go ahead and get into this reaction. Wow, is sex of slaves allowed in Islam? Let's see what this is about.
Assalamualaikum. My name is from Pakistan. I am working on women's rights. So my question is regarding slavery. Slavery is against human rights. So what's the concept of slavery in Islam, especially female slaves and keeping relation with them with nikah or without nikah? This is quite some verses I read. It's quite confusing.
Sister has a question that she is doing research on women rights and she's saying that as far as slavery is concerned, what is the view of Islam? And can Muslim have slave, etc. As far as you read the Quran, there are several verses of the Quran which talk about freeing of slaves. Talks about freeing of slaves. As you realize, Quran is a book which to be followed till the last day. If you analyze the rules and regulations of the Quran was revealed at a time where slavery was very common. Quran is the only religious book on the face of the earth which gives the rules and regulation of how to treat a slave. You can't overburden a slave. There are rules and regulations. Today, if you see the UN Charter, and if you want to put it right, like in slavery in Islam can only take place if there is a war. And if in the war, they can be slaves. Today, internationally slavery is abolished, but today we have POW. You know POW? Prisoner of war. Prisoner of war. Now if you analyze the UN Charter, which is supposed to be the most humane, if you know what's happening in Guantanamo Bay, it's totally against Islam. Yet they're doing it, the Americans. They claim to be the most humane people in the world, the maximum human rights according to me, the most unjust people in the world, and maximum violation of human rights in any country, it is done by the American government. The American may be good, I'm talking about the American government, and that's the reason I'm there on the list also, because I prove it to the world. Now today if you analyze in a prisoner of war, sister, in a prisoner of war, any prisoner of war, any country, they are enclosed in a jail, correct? In Islam, a slave is not enclosed, you know that? So in Islam, I believe that tomorrow is slavery. Islam encourages freeing of slave. Say, if you cannot marry, give the freedom to the slave as mahar, Quranic verse, or surrender. That give the freedom as a mahar. So in Islam, there are various options given. Today, of course, Islam discourages slavery, but if slavery has to come back, the only religious book, the only constitution which gives rights to the slave is Islam. If you follow the constitution, even of the UN Charter, if you read, it is nowhere close to Islam. So when you are talking in Islam, what is slave? What is prisoner of war?
No, about laundries, like there's a concept of laundry.
Yes, that's again, it's prisoner of war. What your right hand possesses is the word in the Quran. What your right hand possesses. What your right hand possesses. So there are rules and regulations laid down in Islam, and always Islam has encouraged freeing of slave, always. But if you have to maintain a slave, there are some rules and regulations. Unlike in what others do, they do without telling. In normal prisoners of war camp, what happens? There's homosexuality, gays, lesbians, adultery, common. It is not in the rule book, but it is common. In Islam, Allah says in Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse number 3, marry women of your choice in 2s, 3s or 4s. If you can't do justice, marry only one. According to American statistics, an average American before he marries, he has 8 sexual partners. How many? Average. Some may have 1, some may have 2, some may have 100. 8. After he marries, how many is not mentioned in the statistics? 8. In Islam, having sex besides your wife, it is prohibited. Yes, when there is slavery, that was permitted. Today it's abolished. When there is. What you have to realize, it doesn't go down the throat. Islam doesn't say marry more than one wife is compulsory. According to me, it is mubah. But if you marry, you have to be just between your wife. And today in the world, there are more women than men. In USA alone, there are 4.8 million females more than men. If every man marries a woman, yet there will be 4.8 million females more than men. So what will happen? For these 4.8 million females, they either marry a man who already has a wife or become public property. Public property is such a harsh word. It is the most sophisticated word I can use, sister. So Islam has the solution to the problems of humankind and the problems of womankind. Islam only has the solution. There, what they do, they are selling their daughters, they are selling their mothers, they are talking about women's liberalization. Whenever you see an ad, invariably you see a woman.
Whoa.
Now I am asking you a question, more men drive cars or women drive cars? Men drive cars. But in the ad of a car, you'll invariably find a woman. You know, I was told in a very famous ad of BMW, in front of the car, there's a lady with the bikini saying, test drive her now. Who is the girl of the car? So they're selling their daughter, they're talking about women liberalization. They're actually selling their daughter, selling their mother, selling their sister. In Islam, we respect our we respect our daughter, respect our sister. This is the hijab. They put the blame. Oh, they are subjugating the woman by keeping her in hijab. We are not subjugating, we are uplifting. If this is subjugation coming in a bikini ad in front of a car, we are happy to be subjugated by the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what you have to realize, sister, it is more word, women liberalization. It is nothing but a disguised form of exploitation of body, degradation of soul, and deprivation of honor. In the garb of women liberalization, in the name of art and culture, they are selling their daughters. So they talk about women. That's the reason today, amongst those people, the fastest growing religion in Europe is Islam. In America is Islam. In the world is Islam. And out of those people accepting Islam, 2/3 are women, sister. Why? So if Islam is subjugating the women, why are the American women accepting Islam?
Whoa.
Why are the European women accepting Islam? Because they find that Islam is the only religion which uplifts them and gives them respect, sister. And for more details, you can refer to my talk on the topic women rights in Islam.
Wow. Now, with Twa family, that is true. That last bit of part where he said Islam is the fastest growing religion, and that is a fact, because when I went and did my research, I was astonished to see how many people are converting or being born into the Islam faith, and the numbers are like skyrocketing. So with that being said, when she was asking him about the sexual slaves, that was more so being talked about in the past, when there were when, you know, in the slavery time there were slaves. So it was at a time where, you know, it was permissible for them to do that, as well as the same way as when they say it's okay for you to have multiple wives, because of the having the solution of, well, there's not a lot of men to be able to satisfy the number of women that are in the world. So that right there is just something that you have to sit there and think and just kind of figure out if all of that is whether the answer to the problem of having more women than men, or is it just staying on the same path of just staying one man, one woman, and that's it. So that right there was a good, very, very good video with Twa family. Thank you so much. Now remember, with Twa family, get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the video. Also, if you got a video you want me to react to, get down in the comment section. Let me know, and I will get to it. And also, man, before you leave the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and join it with Twa family. And before we leave, man, put a like on this video. Remember, I will see y'all tomorrow. Why? Because I post videos every day. So please take care. Stay safe.